Sorensen, I recognize you for 5 minutes.
I want to thank the subcommittees on energy and investigations and oversight for holding this hearing. I'd also like to thank our witnesses for their willingness to testify before us this afternoon. And before I go any further, I'd like to offer Dr. Hogan a few seconds. Would you like to clarify an earlier response to Mr. Lucas's question on microvast?
Yeah, thank you for that opportunity. I think Mr. Lucas asked me to confirm that the Department of Energy would not award dollars to any potential awardee that would put dollars at risk relative to a foreign entity of concern, and that's what I was confirming. I was not trying to make a comment on any particular award, so hopefully there was no confusion on that point, but thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. The 117th Congress passed 3 landmark pieces of legislation, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, CHIPS and Science, and the Inflation Reduction Act. These bills made a once-in-a-generation investment in sectors of our economy, including infrastructure, energy, climate resiliency, which being a meteorologist is important to me, and technology. But we've got to focus on the implementation, which is why I'm excited to have both of you here today. As we know, making the news cycle today, we are rapidly approaching the debt ceiling. There are proposals to address the debt ceiling by freezing funding back to the 2022 level. So for both of you, how would this decision impact these 3 signature pieces of legislation that are already having the positive impact in our communities?
Wow. Well, I have some numbers. I have some numbers because we did some calculations on this. If we go back, for example, to a level at which we're at the FY22 levels, in the weatherization area, it would be a $62 million cut, which would mean 12,000 less low-income families that could take advantage. In rebates, this is all for consumers. It's really American consumers would be hit by our calculations of about $1 billion. Office of Science, this is just a travesty for the Office of Science. If we go to the 22 level, it would be it would get to a significant reduction in what the Office of Science can do, and in particular the laboratories. It would be a huge hit on the laboratories, going from what we're putting in the 24 budget of 8.8 back to 7.5. That would reduce the scientists that we fund by 5,200. We can't afford 5,200 loss of scientists when we need them so desperately. And also, that would mean we have 30,000 users that use our laboratory facilities every year from all states. That means that those users, we would cut back on those facilities. So 2,600 users would have to go overseas to use light sources and different other possibilities. It puts us, I think what's most concerning to me is that just when I think we're starting to, we've seen China rise with regards to what it's putting into its facilities. They're trying to build laboratories like ours, modeled after ours, just at a point where we're able to update our laboratories and have the workforce that at least is getting it closer. They're just going to leapfrog right over us if we do that, both in emerging technologies as well as in this area too. And so I think with the IRA tax incentives, it would be a huge blow to competitiveness just as we have this momentum to go forward. And overall, we see that we calculate about 780,000 jobs lost by 2024. But those are our calculations. It would just be, and this is your job to do this, but it's
Right.
our job to worry about people and the workforce and competitiveness.
Dr. Hogan.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to sit here at this point in time with the IIJA and IRA in front of us, and really why are they here? It's because of this amazing opportunity we have right now to regain manufacturing and build jobs. So it's great to be working on this, but that is today's time, and it's the time to take advantage of this opportunity, right, which only comes around every now and again. So what would be the impact of our offices in this new Office of Infrastructure if we went back a couple years? We would undo some of the capabilities we're trying to build out around securing the clean energy supply chain for so many of the technologies that are the technologies of the next coming decades. So it's, very important capabilities like that. It's the improvements we've been able to make to our tribal energy program, which has grown substantially in its budget over this period of time. And it also will affect our ability to do the types of things we've just been talking about in this committee to address interconnection type issues, permitting issues. Again, we hope there's a congressional solution on permitting, but until there is, we're using the tools we have to make progress there, and these types of budget cuts would not allow us to do that.
Well, we have to make sure that America is leading the way, and I hope that we can find the consensus to believe in that. Thank you. I yield back.